All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to 470. This is not how I had originally planned to do your first lecture, and it's not how we're going to be doing the rest of the class for the entire semester. It's just a one-time exception, like you probably will have seen in the email that I sent out tomorrow morning. Happens to be the uh, earliest appointment I could get for COVID vaccination. So I definitely did not want to miss that opportunity. Right now you never know when you're going to get another chance. So definitely we didn't want to reschedule or doing, roll the dice anymore. They already am. Yeah, so definitely, like I said, this is not going to be how we normally do things. Okay, but I am going to roll through all this stuff, and then I'm going to meet you guys later. I'm hoping I should be done by 9. So I will definitely be hopefully catching you guys on Zoom at 9 o'clock where we can talk. So watch the video and then just kind of hang out either in Zoom or just wait for me to show up. I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping to get there at 9. Um, yeah. And also, by the way, I'm going to do this lecture live. I'm not going to do any pre-recording, so any anything that has to get basically, I'm not going to stop the video and redo anything. Um, just because I want to just barrel through this, like I said, because I don't want to waste a bunch of time, doing video editing and stuff when we're not going to be doing this again, right? This is it. This is the one video lecture that you're going to have to watch. After that, we'll meet as normal in Zoom every Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 10. Okay. So, yeah, I'm just going to launch into it. I'm going to preview what the course is, what to expect, how everything works. And I will be on at 9 to answer your guys' questions and make sure that we're all on the same page. And then we do have a lab that we're going to do. Okay. All right. So I've already said this is CGD 470. We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 to 10. You're going to be meeting online on Zoom. Okay. So in Blackboard, you'll find right over here Zoom, right? You guys should be used to this by now, but you go to the Zoom meetings, and I've got the whole semester all preloaded in there for you guys, okay? So that is where we will do our lectures. On the schedule, if you click that button right there, whoops, I already had it open. Schedules are already laid out for you. I got to redo that right there because I was just messing with some stuff. But you'll see the entire semester from start to finish is all laid out for you guys, okay? So there should never be any surprises with this class. You guys will know what's due, when it's assigned, when it's due, what we're going to do every single day, okay? So you can see starting out on the 26th, you'll see that we are in pre-sprint time. So we're going to take the first 2 weeks to kind of get organized, get ready to go. We'll form into our groups, and then you guys will launch into it. We'll start production, and you're going to have 7 sprints to complete one game, right? So this isn't like 370 where, gosh, I guess I haven't taught 370 in a while, but in 370, I used to cancel a project halfway through on you guys. For a bunch of different reasons, regardless of which you don't have to worry about this semester. You're just going to be worrying about one project through the whole semester, and your goal is to make it the best project that you can. But we'll get to that in a second. First, I want to just roll through some of the structure parts of the course, and then we'll get to the kind of final deliverables. All right, so today you'll see hour 1 is syllabus. Basically, I'm just going to go over the nuts and bolts of the course, the syllabus, the schedule, all the basics. Hour 2, you have a lab assignment that you're going to do, how to choose the right design and brainstorm concepts. Both of those will be opened up probably by 9 o'clock, where I'll be in class with you guys and we can talk about them real quick before they're assigned to you. You look over here, you'll see assigned. I have an assigned column, right? So if you look at January 26th, assigned, you have Forum 0 and Forum 1. Okay. And if you were to look over here, you'd see that due before class. Well, you don't have anything due before class, right? It's the first class meeting. So obviously I haven't assigned anything. So there's nothing due. But you'll see that if you look on the 27th, which is tomorrow, right? You'll see that you have Forum 1, Part 1 due. Okay, and I'll explain all that. That'll make more sense in just a second. So I just want you to see and understand how the columns work, right? So you'll have the first hour that we'll do. You'll see that, oh, you know, I put a note here for this. Don't leave today without forming a group. Forum 1 discussion, Forum 2 discussion, sprint review and kickoff, Forum 3 discussion. Okay, so this is what you can expect to do on the first hour. And this is the second hour, right? So you might have labs sometimes, or specific things that we're going to do, like Forum 0, which you'll understand that in a second when I go over the assignments. Right, so this is all the stuff that you're going to do in the second hour of the class. All right, and this is what's going to be assigned on that day, right? And you'll see that generally something will be assigned, and then a little bit later it'll be due, right? So you'll see that these are both assigned today, and they're going to be due at different parts are going to be due at different times, right? So you'll see Forum 1 Part 1 is due on Wednesday, and then Forum 1 Part 2 is due on Sunday, right? So you're probably wondering what the forums are, but you know what? I think what we're going to do is do the syllabus, and then I'll go to the assignments that we need to do. Yeah, so let's make sure that we roll through all that, right? I went over what Zoom is. The class content is the folder that you'll go to find all of your content for the entire semester laid out. I've got everything prepackaged, ready to go into these different sprint folders. So anything that you have due in a certain sprint, you can find in that sprints folder, right? So I didn't break it into weeks, but I did break it into sprints. And if you look over here, you'll see that sprints, right, which should not be a new concept for you. I believe all of you should be familiar with sprints and agile production from 370 on, right? Sprints for us are 2-week increments, right? So this is week 1 of sprint 1. This is week 2 of sprint 1. And we go from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. Okay, so each one of those days, all through the semester, you have certain things due on different days. So, or we're doing different things on different days, right? And so the calendar is what guides all of that. Okay, so if there's ever a time where you have an assignment, I give you conflicting information, say I tell you something in class, but you look at the calendar and it doesn't agree. Number one, obviously tell me. But number two is you will never go wrong by going with what's in the calendar. The calendar is love, calendar is life. Live by the calendar. Okay. Because if I were to if I were to go in here, right, and you would say, oh, well, Jeff, you told us that it was due on Friday, but it was actually due in the calendar on Wednesday. I'm going to go by what's in the calendar always. Okay. Now, if it does come to something like that where I do give you conflicting information, I am generally not going to be a jerk about it, and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt of whichever is the later of the two, right? So if I remember that I said on Wednesday, but it was really due on Sunday, then I would probably let that go if I remember. I'm getting old. I don't remember everything. So don't count on that. Go by the calendar, okay? And then if I give you conflicting information, you notice it, tell me so that I can correct it either on the calendar or get that squared away. All right. Okay, so that was the schedule. I showed you where Zoom was. I showed you where the class content stuff was. Forums. Forums are going to be the assignments and things that we do pretty much every week. So you're going to have one forum that I want you to do every week, all the way through. So starting in the first week, you have 2 forums assigned. They're a little different though. The forum 0 is your pitch forum post where you're going to do a video of your pitch to everybody to pitch a game. But forum 1 is where we do your first sort of normal forums. Okay, so a normal forum, if you look here, Form 1 is called turning a good idea into a good game. So what I want you to do, right, if you read it, it'll say, I want you to watch the following GDC presentation, right? So if you click on that, it'll take you to the link for the video that I want you to watch, and then read the instructions for what I want you to do. So, right, so here I'm saying, this is a graded assignment. As such, I want you to do part 1, post a summary of your thoughts of the video, okay? So I want you to watch it and summarize your thoughts, and that part will be due on Wednesday. And then part 2, I want you to post a meaningful reply to somebody else's post. And now, this is important here, meaningful reply. This is a senior level class. So I'm expecting much more than a couple sentences from part one and part two. Okay. So I put a note here. I'm looking for thought and analysis and a reminder that a minimal effort equals a minimal grade. It is important you understand that this is senior level work now. Okay. So I don't expect, uh, you know, half an effort here. This I expect, this forms the bulk of your individual assignments over the semester. If you fail to do this stuff, you will not pass this class. So make sure you pay very, very close attention to the forms. There's one a week. The first part is due every Wednesday. I've even put it on a special thing on the calendar, so you'll note that, right? Every single Wednesday, part one is due. Every Sunday, part two is due, right? So um, when you get it assigned, it'll open up as soon as, generally, I think I have it set up so that as soon as on Sunday it closes at 12:01, which would be considered the first minute of Monday, they're opened up for the next week. So you could go and you could do look ahead and start preparing for the part that's due on Wednesday, part one, right? It's due every single Wednesday. All right, so don't forget that. Part one is due every single Wednesday. Part two then is your response, which can be different from time to time, and it's going to depend on the forum and what I'm asking you. Just make sure that you're following the instructions here, and you shouldn't go wrong. Okay, so that's forums. Very, very important part of the class. Every Wednesday, every Sunday. Don't forget that. Okay, so that is the forums. Here is the ePortfolio. Okay, so what I want you guys to do. Oh, look, Dylan's already put this in ahead because he knows he knows what we're looking for because he's already done this in 495. So what I need you to do here is put your last name, put your first name, and go give me your CHED blog address for this 470 blog that you're going to make. Okay. Now, blogs in the past, we've gone a little lighter on them. Dan and I, though, this semester, we're going to make them even more important in all of our production classes. So if you have a production class, say you're in 370 or 377 or 470 or 495, your blogs now are also where you're going to show us your work from a sprint. So for every sprint, I need to know how much work you're doing, right? So how many points you're doing, what cards you've been assigned, what cards you completed, and then I need to know a bunch of more stuff, which are in the blog assignments. Which right, if you just go to the assignment at the start of a sprint, you'll get to see that, right? We're not in a sprint yet, so you don't get to see one because there's nothing assigned to you yet because we're not in that time yet. But I will say, right, I need you to put your last name, first name, put your blog address in here, and this is important because we grade from the blog post. We don't grade from your submission, right? So remember, blog posts there's two parts. There's part one would be your assignment and submission, right? That's proving to us that you did your blog post and you did it on time and you submitted everything. But then we grade from the actual blog post because it's very important. Wow, I'm getting desktop audio on here. It's very important that you guys are starting to be as professional as possible because we're trying to get you. Blogs are kind of an important part of the industry, depending on pretty much for everybody in the industry. You need to be able to present your ideas and your thoughts and be able to communicate the ideas that you have properly. And more and more studios are going to be digital, so being able to communicate through a digital online medium is very, very important. So we're putting even more of an emphasis on that from here on out. Okay. So that's the blog posts. If you scroll down here, by the way, there's, if you've not seen these are the ones that Jen set up a while ago for, how to set up your blog and it's all the same stuff. But in case you're a transfer or something and don't know how to do that, this is extra instructions or help for you to do that. All right. So that took care of the important parts here. This is the link to the class Discord. Load this up here. I don't think, though, that I shared my, oh, cool. It's going to auto do that. Okay, cool. All right, so there you go. Make sure that after you join the Discord, which is very, very important that you do join the Discord, inside of here is where all your group stuff is going to be going on. Last semester, I let people have their own group Discord servers. I am not going to let that happen this semester. It was too chaotic and hard for me to manage jumping around from team to team. So all of your stuff needs to be done inside of here. Okay. So all your group communication needs to go inside of your own channel, and I'll set you guys up into your own channels and stuff. That'll come a little later when we get organized into our groups. Okay. All right. So that is that part. Obviously, you know about grades, you know about announcements and email, right? So that's all stuff that's standard. All right. So let's get over to some real quick information, right? Those of you that don't know, I think I introduced myself, but in case, see, it used to be that I taught all of the game classes. So this was a joke, right? That, oh, who's Jeff, right? I don't know who Jeff is because I've only had Jeff like for the last 4 years. But nowadays, Dan and Tony, you might not have met me yet. There is that possibility that things have not lined up where you ever took a class from me. So, welcome. My name is Jeff Underwood, and I have been a lecturer here in CAGD for a long time, since 2012. However long that is, I don't even know anymore. That's how old I am. My office hours this semester will be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 12. Um, to let you guys know a little bit of my background. So I graduated from Chico State long ago, um, and did a little bit of contract work here and there, but mostly I started my own studio and have been in Chico running Mutant Entertainment Studios for the last many years. We've released 7 games on Steam. We released a couple more prior to that as Flash games, but obviously Flash is now gone away. Um, and yeah, we're still chugging away. Yeah, we'll talk more about indie development. That's my specialty, and I've been doing it for a long time. So definitely that will be part of the course, and we'll get to that in some of the forum posts and the discussions that we have. Okay. So anyway, that's some of my background. Contact information, right? So there's my email, and I want to be very clear about this part right here. So anything that's important needs to go through not Discord, right? Discord is a secondary channel for us and is just an extra thing. Official stuff, like, so if you wanted to talk about a grade or there was something important that you needed to know from me, use the class email system. Okay. You can either use that one right there that's inside of Blackboard, or you can just dial up my email through there. Doesn't matter, just as long as, if it's important, please make sure that it goes through the official university communication system. I don't want there to be like, discrepancies of like, oh, well, Jeff told me this over on Discord. No. Like, that is not official. The official communication channel is anything through email. Okay, so if it's something important that you need written confirmation from me, make sure it's through email. Okay. And that's a link to my Zoom office hours, right? So if you want to drop in my office hours, which will be Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 to noon, just pop on that link and we can meet. Okay. All right. So that is the structure for Blackboard. Let's drop in now. We did the calendar. Let's do the syllabus. Yay. Fun times with syllabus. Okay. Once again, this is CAGD 470 video game production. This is a 3-unit course. Your lecture is going to be online. You will have the lecture, right? So those are the forum posts that we do, right? And I want to remind you, part 1, viewing and summary, due every Wednesday before midnight. Part 2, response, due every Sunday before midnight, okay? And then the activity, which is the lab portion of the class, that is our synchronous online Zoom classroom. Whoops, I forgot to update that. So I'll update that before probably tonight. Right, so we meet 8 to 10, right? Last semester it was 12 to 2. This semester it's 8 to 10, so we're meeting 8 a.m. Watch, look, you get to see me edit a class live. And I'll just say noon. If I could type. All right. Okay, the prerequisites for this class. So you need to have a C- or better in CAGD 370 and or CAGD 373. This is important to note, though, that it's only for CAGD majors. So if you're here getting a minor, this one does not apply to you. You just have to pass that class. Okay. Okay, so there's all my information again. Again, my office hours are Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 to noon. All right, so what is this class? 470 is an advanced course in video game production studying the art, technology, and science involved in the creation and development of computer games. The course covers video game history, game theory, design of computer based games, delivery systems, the development cycle, case studies, ethical and social issues, and emerging technologies and trends. This course emphasizes the understanding and the interdisciplinary nature of video game design. This course is not an official computer programming course, so I'm not in here teaching anything. In fact, this is a good place for me to note that this class, right? So this senior level design class, you've learned all there pretty much is to design textbook based at this point, right? So from here on out, it's practical and just you guys getting your hands dirty. Okay. So there's not really much for me to like teach in that way. There's not lectures like that. Instead, I treat this course as a shoot, there's a term for it, a seminar course, where it's much more. You'll do your assigned forum posts. We're gonna come in on. Let's look at the calendar there. Right. So if you come in on Tuesday, and we're going to have a discussion. We're going to talk about whatever it was that you guys put into the forums. Okay. So that's how that'll work. And it's going to be a bunch of different topics, right? So there'll be a lot of ethical, social, and emerging trends and technologies that we'll talk about over the course of the semester. Okay. All right. So the official textbook is Game Design Workshop. We're not going to be working out of it, obviously, since you've done all that already. But it is a good. It is what we use for like if I ask you for the formal elements of a game, you better know what those are, right? Because they came from this book, right? So remember that this book is our foundation. All right, but I'm not going to be teaching out of it. So just make sure you have access to a copy that you can look up for reference. Materials. Obviously, you need internet access for an online course. This is actually outdated. You don't need a flash drive since we're not going to be meeting in person or a laptop. Oops, where'd the laptop go? Laptop got knocked out of there. All right, anyway, moving on, general policies. So this syllabus contains the policies and expectations the instructor has established for this course. Please read the entire syllabus carefully before continuing on this course. So that's an important note. I'm going to summarize some stuff. I'll probably skip over some things here and there, but it's on you guys to know and read this thing. Okay, it's very important. This is our contract between student and teacher, right? The syllabus, if it's in the syllabus, you're good to go. If it's not in the syllabus, ask me. Okay. These policies and expectations are intended to create a productive learning atmosphere for all students. Unless you're prepared to abide by these policies and expectations, you risk losing the opportunity to participate further in the course. The faculty encourages your active participation in class discussion. In fact, there's part of your part of your class. We'll get down to it in a little bit, but one of your grading sections is going to be participation. Okay. So make sure you are active in discussions. Okay, because if you're never contributing to class discussions, you're going to get a low score in that area. Okay. All right. So, in those discussions, though, each of us may have strongly differing opinions on the various topics of class discussion. That is absolutely true. There will be sensitive topics. Okay. So, remember this part clearly. The respectful conflict of ideas is encouraged and welcome. The faculty will exercise their responsibility to manage the discussions so that ideas and arguments can proceed in an orderly fashion. You should expect that if your conduct during class discussions or activities seriously disrupts the atmosphere of mutual respect we expect in this class, you will not be permitted to participate further. Okay, there are going to be sensitive topics. We are going to cover some hot button issues. So you need to be respectful of your fellow classmates, okay? So, remember that now for later. The course instructor may modify the standards and requirements set forth in the syllabus at any time. Notice of such changes will be made by announcement in class or via Blackboard, okay? So I reserve the right to change the syllabus when I need to. I haven't changed the syllabus in any of the content parts in a long time, but if I need to, I will, but I will let you know if I do. All right, online etiquette. I'm not going to summarize this whole thing. I just want you guys to remember this part right here. So respect others and their opinions, avoid inappropriate material, be forgiving, consider others' privacy, please use the right tone, be as concise as possible, stick to the point, and take a pause before you send. All right, so there may be points where you're going to be communicating with each other a lot, both in your teams and in the forums. So, remember that as you before fire off your angry email. Okay, go through all this and make sure that you're pausing before you fly off the handle. Okay. All right, required skills. So this is an online course, so obviously you need to know how to do all this stuff. I'm not going to summarize. I'm not going to go over all these. Just for the most part, you guys are by now familiar with all this stuff. I do want to make a note here that you do need a webcam for this course. You will be doing presentations. Um, Generally, let's see, last semester I let people record their presentations so you could get away with using a phone. I kind of want to not do that this semester, so I want everybody to just do it live because there is a big difference to doing this stuff live from doing it recorded. So, and I need you guys to practice that, right? One of the main things, one of the big parts of game development is communication skills. And being able to do this stuff live is very important. So, if you don't have a webcam, let me know. And I'll consider making a special exception. But for the most part, I want you guys to have a webcam so that you can do your presentations live. Okay. And if you were to look at the calendar and look ahead, you'll find that every single sprint, you have a sprint review, which is your presentation of how your sprint went. And you're going to have to do that every sprint. There are 7 of them. So there's going to be a lot of presentations that you're going to have to do. Okay. All right. Disruptive behavior. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. I could summarize this for you very basically is don't be a jerk. Okay. Um, you know, have some thought before you communicate with your fellow students. Be respectful of each other. But again, this is going to be on you for knowing what is disruptive behavior. So please make sure you read the syllabus very carefully before continuing on the course, because by continuing on the course, you're agreeing to all of this. Okay. All right. I might sneak, hey, you owe Jeff your firstborn child somewhere in here, right? So pay attention. Terms and conditions are always important. All right. Studio labs and policies. Obviously, this doesn't really apply this semester. This is all since we're all online. Okay. Right to use. By now, you guys should be familiar with what right to use means. It generally means that you own your work. Oops, I forgot to change. How did that old thing get through? I have updated that many, many times, and somehow I missed that. So this should be a computer animation game development program. So right to use means you own your product, but we also, as a department, have the right to display your stuff. Okay. Also, I happen to run a game studio. I'm not going to steal your ideas, but ideas are not the hard part. I think you guys have figured this out by now. Ideas are not the hard part of game development. But I'm not going to steal your idea. But if I happen to make something 10 years down the road that is kind of similar to something that somebody pitched in here, you can't sue me. Okay. Again, I'm not going to steal your idea, but ideas are not the hard part of game development, right? You guys should know that by now. Everybody's got ideas. All right. I'll also make sure that you guys remember there is no idea person at a game studio. I want that to be very clear. By now, you guys should have figured this out, right? But there's no job. It's just I'm the idea guy, and you guys make my game for me. That is not a thing. Okay. Being a producer is a lot more than that. And game ideas come from everybody on a team. It doesn't matter whether you're a programmer or a designer, a level designer, or a modeler, or a VFX person or an animator. It doesn't matter, right? Ideas can come from anybody on the team. So they're not going to hire somebody who just is an idea person. That's not really part of the industry. Okay. All right. Topics. So what are we going to cover this semester? We're going to be covering, among other things, market research, attention and immersion, monetization strategies, ethics, gender perspectives, marketing, identifying and analyzing business developer biases, and a bunch of other game industry trends and analysis. Okay. Grading. Now, finding the part you guys really care about. All right. So, Assignments and participation are 40% of your grade. Projects, there is one project. It is worth by itself 40% of your grade. So if your group does not come through and produce a final product, you will fail this part. You'll notice that it's 40% of your grade. So even if you aced every single other part, you were like the best person on a team that just couldn't finish, you will fail the class. You'll get a D. That's the best you could do. Okay. So it is incredibly important that you do well in the project category. It's also incredibly important that you do well in the assignments category. Okay. And assignments, if you look here, for the most part, they're mostly just the forums and the blog posts. Okay. So it's very important that you do all of your work. Missing one or two blog posts is going to kill your score. Don't let that happen. All right. Presentations are worth 10% of your grade, and evaluations are worth 10% of your grade. Policies, late. There is no late work in CAGD. I am not going to, if it is 1 second past its due date, I am not going to open it up for you. Why do you think I'm such a jerk about that? Normally I would wait and wait for a response from you guys, but obviously since I'm recording this, that will not be the case. I'm a jerk about this because I need you to be prepared for industry. This industry is not okay with lateness. So I'm like, if your boss asks you to have something done, it will either be done by that time or you will have told them far in advance that you are falling behind. Okay. So there's no like coming to your boss like, oh, I didn't finish that thing. That either, if that was the case, you should have told them long ago, right? Because you are in a sprint cycle, and in those sprints, you would have told them, oh, this is not happening, right? This is something I need help, or something else is going wrong, or I'm blocked and I'm waiting on somebody else. That's fine, right? But just asking for more time is not a thing that happens in the game development. Okay, so we don't take late work. However, we do take revisions. Okay, so if you've turned something in and you're not happy with it, you can email me after you've turned it in. This can't be something that you say, oh, I forgot to turn it in. Can I get a revision? No, it's not a revision. You missed it. But you can, if you did get something in on time and you're just not happy with it, you can email me for a revision, and I will email you back with a new due date for the revision. But note that there is a 20% penalty that's applied. Okay, so the best you could get on a revision thing would be like 80%. Okay. Turn-ins, right? We don't ask for anything paper anymore, but just in case I have to leave this in, because every once in a while I did get a paper like a year ago. Somebody tried to put a paper under my door. No, I'm not doing that. File naming. This is our file naming conventions. File naming conventions are very important in the industry. For those of you that haven't run into that yet, so imagine you're a modeler and you're working on rocks for the next Assassin's Creed. You're the rock modeler. There may be scripts that other programmers have written to go through and like maybe do some specialized LOD work on your rocks, and so it's going to look for a certain naming convention, right? So it'd be like rock 01. If you put in 01 rock, the scripts would fail. It would then screw up the work. Your rocks would not get LOD things, and things would be broken. Okay, so file naming conventions, again, we're not doing this to be jerks. We're trying to get you ready so that when it's time to go work in the industry, you already know that file naming conventions are very important. All right, and you'd go, hey, boss, what's the file naming convention for this? They go, oh, cool. I'm glad you asked. Okay. Passing grades. So this is an important note here, is that you have to get a 65% in each of those categories listed above to pass the class. So just because you see presentations is only worth 10%, you still need to get at least 65% in that category to pass the class, right? So you can't just go, oh, presentations is no big deal. I'm just going to blow that off. I don't like doing presentations, so I'm not going to do them. You're going to do them, okay? You must get a 65%, of total, and then a 50% minimum in each of those categories, okay? So you must do at least 50% in all of them. Obviously, your own work. This actually is important in this class. I've had lately some trouble with people trying to put in things like from the asset store. Not okay. I know a lot of the stuff that's in the asset store. right? I run a studio, and assets are a great way to cut corners. I try and cut corners when I can. You in this class will not be cutting corners unless you specifically ask me. Okay, so trying to pass off models that you got from Turbo Squid or something else is going to stick out like a sore thumb. I'm going to know it, and then we're going to have a real heart to heart about why you're even in this major if you're trying to pass off somebody else's work as your own, right? Your boss, like, you would get fired immediately if you tried to do something like that, okay? Because that company will get sued. That's a big, big legal problem. So if at this point if you're a senior in CAGD and you're trying to pass off somebody else's work as your own, you're probably not going to work in the industry ever. Okay, so uh, make sure you understand that your work needs to stand for itself. This is also senior level. This is where you practice all the skills that you've learned up to this point, because guess what? You're going to graduate and then you got to go get a job. Okay, so you shortcutting is only hurting yourself at this point. All right. Just know that you need to go and know what the academic honesty and code of student rights and responsibilities are. I expect you guys to know that. I've been to the site many times, so I know what it is, but you guys really need to know it. Okay. Weighing. At this point, you guys should all know what weighing is, right? But I'll explain it again because for some reason people still have trouble. Weighing. So let's imagine you have a 10-point assignment in projects and you have a 10-point assignment in presentations. Which one is worth more? Projects is worth much more because it's weighted, right? Because those 10 points, even though it's 10 points in both, it's weighed differently, right? So I have set up a weighting system so that those 10 points in projects are worth a hell of a lot more, right? 30 more percent they're worth. So just because the point value is the same, when there's a weighing thing going on, it means that those points are not the same. Okay, so pay very, very close attention to what category your things are in. All right. All right. So the rest of the stuff, student resources, is all for you, right? So there's a link to the Wellness Center, your link to the Student Conduct Rights and Responsibilities, a link to the Student Success Center, ITSS Support Services, the Title IX, and link to the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Okay. I highly encourage you guys to check all of those links out. Know what's there and available for you. Know what your rights and responsibilities are. Okay. So with that, I think I've covered everything that I need to cover before hopefully I meet you guys in 20, 30 more minutes at 9 o'clock on Zoom. Okay, remember that we're going to meet on Zoom all semester. We're meeting on Zoom, not on Discord. What we'll do is we'll meet to do our discussions on Zoom. I will have those recorded. I record all those just in case, because there can be sensitive topics and people can get a little heated every once in a while in those discussions. It's important for me to have them recorded. That's why we're using Zoom. And then when it's time for us to say do our stand-ups and whatever for you guys to go meet and work, we'll pop over to Discord and you guys will work over there and I'll do my stand-up check-ins with you over there and stuff. Okay. All right. So with that, I'm going to sign off here now. Remember that I will be checking in. We will meet so I can cover all your questions and stuff. Again, I apologize, but it was just such an important appointment that I could not, and I think it was a bad idea to try and move it, so I definitely left it where it was. Yeah, so I will see you guys in just a little bit. All right, thanks. Bye, guys.